Hello, E1 Gamers, and welcome to another episode of War Thunder Strat Guide. I'm your host, Ethan Knight. You are watching episode 3 of that series called Phase 1. As always, feel free to take a look at our other videos on our YouTube channel. There you will find that we have uploaded an official trailer to the series. You'll also see episode 1, War Thunder Strat Guide, where I go into a little bit more detail into what the channel is all about, also sharing some experiences on my part as bringing a preview to the channel with it. Also, please take a look at episode 2, very important, before watching this video, where I go into detail about your lineup and what players should use as far as their starting vehicles in any given match to line it up with the strategy in this guide. You are watching episode 3 of that series, and here we will go into phase 1 of the battle plans. As always, subscribe now, where you will receive new guides, reviews, news, and much more. You can view our videos on your computer, tablet, and smartphone.
And now it's just like, man, you gotta have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race, like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know, but you have to step away from it.
Okay, we are going to kick off this episode with the stages involved in phase 1 of your battle plan. Here you will see a map on a given level. Now, it doesn't matter what level you're starting on, but you will see, however, a detailed guide on the different stages that should be used with the lineup provided to you in the previous episode. Stage 1 is where I like to encourage you guys to take a rush approach towards the first objective. We do this using the M18 gun motor carriage vehicle for the United States forces. Now, if you have other forces you're trying to grind out, just simply use the vehicle of choice that would be used to rush capture points. I choose the GMC because it uses the smoke round, and I feel it's very important in doing this stage, offering the most cover and also minimizing any sort of disappointments from getting hit or destroyed by enemy forces who are capturing another point. Now, once you have rushed the first capture point on the map, and that should be the one that is closest to where you have spawned or chosen to spawn, what we like to encourage is that you use some sort of cover when capturing that point. The main reason being is that it could be fairly simple for an enemy to realize your position and try to flank you or even gain a line of view where he can easily deter you from stage 2. Once you have completed stage 1, you will be going into stage 2. What is stage 2? You will be rushing towards the best known flanking position. This is why it is required to have a fast vehicle for this lineup strategy that we have come up with here. Again, it doesn't matter what map it is. For the sake of showing the actual strategy and gameplay action, we have chosen this one. Anytime you lead yourself into an area where you feel like you're vulnerable or enemy vehicle might be scouting you from a distance and there's open spaces, you can again always deploy more smoke in that area to try to sneak by or even distract or decoy the enemy into thinking you are somewhere else. You'll see here that this open alley here that I'm passing through is an obvious point where the enemy's line of view could easily spot my vehicle heading into my flanking position. It is crucial that anytime you head into your flanking position, you find a piece of cover. This could add to your armor and the inability of the enemy vehicles to score a direct hit once the smoke has cleared. On the map here, you will see I've highlighted the expected enemy targets as they are moving into a position where they know friendly vehicles will be coming in at. They're trying to watch their flank. It is quite normal for experienced players against you to realize that a flank is sometimes sought after. Now let's take a look from the enemy's perspective. You'll see one enemy anti-tank vehicle is actually moving in with him, and following shortly behind him is another enemy vehicle that looks like a tank. Beware, it's not just 2 vehicles. They do move in from different areas of the map, which you'll see and find later on. Here you will see how effective the smoke is in causing a sort of delay to any further approach of enemy forces, and they do not know where you are exactly. It's hard for them to figure out, and then they have to line up a shot based on that smoke then dissipating. Again, taking a look at the map, you'll see I've added another vehicle to the far left, approaches from their capture point into an alleyway, making a 3rd vehicle. Again, here I have highlighted the enemy positions where they should be on the map, and this goes for just about any game in this level. The last part to this stage is once the smoke has cleared, to go ahead and quickly find the target. You should always assume he is right there and go ahead and take your shot. Now he has been hit first. He's been thrown off by the smoke. He knows once that smoke dissipates that there are enemy vehicles somewhere there, but because I am behind cover, it takes him a while to pinpoint my position. You'll see here also that once he takes the first shot, from his perspective, he starts to go into an automatic retreat. As he's retreating, he actually blocks his friendly vehicle, which is just a coincidence, really. Understanding and having played this map a couple times, I understand more than one enemy vehicle typically will come in from this angle, and there I noticed that there is in fact another tank right behind the first vehicle that was hit previously. A good hit. I take out some of the crew along with the turret. You'll see friendly forces are also approaching and moving in. A second shot is not so great and bounces off the armor. And there you go, a 3rd shot knocks him out. That's the first enemy vehicle destroyed. Now I can start to target the first vehicle I had hit previously. From their perspective, you can see again, the first hit to his buddy had taken out his gun turret. You can barely see in the distance where I'm shooting from. They're trying to pinpoint my position. I believe hitting the gun on the first vehicle had disabled his weapon for a while. A second hit bounced off, and a 3rd hit was what put him under. I returned to targeting the first vehicle that was hit in the very beginning of this engagement. You notice here that another enemy vehicle had in fact approached from another alleyway after capturing their capture point. You also notice a friendly tank has just been destroyed. He just so happened to be right in my gun sight, and taking a shot, I knocked him out. Here's another angle where you'll see that destruction. You also notice that the ACP rounds go through the tank that's in the middle of the alleyway here at the moment and actually come close, if not hitting the first vehicle. The first vehicle begins to fire once more. I think he's pinpointed my position by now. His shell lands a little short and to the left, where I then am unable to see him and begin to shoot in cover with machine gun fire. Now, machine gun fire is good for coverage, but it's also good for actually pinpointing again where the enemy tank is if you lose your cover. And at this point, noticing the shell debris spray, I had decided to actually deploy my own smoke. If you ever become overwhelmed or feel like somebody's targeted you pretty good and you're in a light armored vehicle, it's always good to use machine gun fire, deploy smoke. Even if you shoot any kind of round into the ground on purpose, it can provide a short amount of cover for you to get behind something and therefore protect yourself. Again, I'm just spraying more machine gun fire as I'm reloading. Can't get a good shot on him for some reason, and unfortunately I actually get destroyed right here. That was probably my last chance at getting a good shot on him. I just missed where I was trying to aim, at looking for a weak spot in his armor. I'm hitting from the front. It's not really typically a good thing that you're engaging from the front in this vehicle, but with the APC rounds you never know.
now it's just like, man, you got to have that time where you just like disconnect from the scene, just the race. Like, and it's a race that I've created in my head, you know? But you have to step away from it.